Welcome, Toastmasters and dear guests. This is our 8th meeting in United Entrepreneurs Toastmasters Club. We welcome in this very special meeting. So wherever you are, I'll tell you good morning, good afternoon, or good evening. My name is Adiba Matur. I'm the Sergeant at Arms. And I will start by reciting the mission of our club. So we provide a supportive and positive learning experience in which members are empowered to develop communication and leadership skills, resulting in greater self-confidence and personal growth. The values of Toastmasters program are respect, integrity, service, and excellence. Let me share with you some housekeeping rules to help you take the most advantage of today's meeting. The first thing is to please ensure all your cell phones are on silent or switched off mode. Please take 10 seconds to recheck. Thank you so much. Secondly, please keep your microphone on mute during speeches. And if possible, be in video mode to enjoy the best meeting experience. We would love to see you. And please refrain from any aggressive discussion about religion, politics, or sex. In case of any technical issues, please reach out privately. So now it's time for our Toastmasters promise. I will ask you all to put your right hand on your heart and recite after me. As a member of Toastmasters International and my club, I promise to attend club meetings regularly, to prepare all of my projects to the best of my ability, basing them on the Toastmasters education program, to prepare for and fulfill meeting assignments, to provide fellow members with helpful, constructive evaluations, to have the club maintain the positive, friendly environment necessary for all members to learn and grow, to serve my club as an officer when called upon to do so, to treat my fellow club members and our guests with respect and courtesy, to bring guests to club meetings so they can see the benefits Toastmasters membership offers, and to adhere to the guidelines and rules for all Toastmasters educational and recognition programs, and to act within Toastmasters core values of integrity, respect, service, and excellence during the conduct of all Toastmasters activities. Now, I would like to hand it over to our president, Federica.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, distinguished Toastmasters, fellow Toastmasters, and our esteemed guests. Today, yes, we are on to another exciting meeting, and our meeting is specially designed to help people with entrepreneurial mindsets learn and grow. Our club is Universal Entrepreneurs Toastmasters, and guests, we will surely give you some time at the end of this meeting to give your impressions of this meeting, and if you're interested, to let us know. Congratulations again to all our chartered members. We started in August, and it's almost the end of September, and we are already chartered. So hats off to all all who assisted in this process. Today, our theme will be fundamentals of research. And therefore, you will learn so much about research. Everything will be gathered around this topic. And I do hope you enjoy your meeting. Back to you. So I will now introduce the Toastmaster of the evening. I think that is Toastmaster Shardul. Is it you?
Yes, indeed. Thank you, Frederica. Everyone, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. Thank you all for joining. Today, I would like to explain the theme, the fundamentals of research. Before I begin with the topic and the explanation for the same, let me give you just a brief introduction about myself. I am a researcher at the Technical University of Delft in the Netherlands. I also work at a company, and I am also a part of this dynamic club focusing on entrepreneurship and talent. So to explain the theme is about researching, not just for the sake of academics, but also that we do in our entrepreneur goals, lives, and ambitions. Because at the end, before we venture out on any journey, we would like to know where the journey takes us. So in today's journey of Toastmasters, let me first introduce what this theme will be, or what the flow will be. We're starting off with the prepared speeches, following off with table topics, and the third would be the evaluations for the prepared speeches. Third would be the pitch, and then the fourth would be evaluations for the prepared speeches and the pitch itself, along with report from the role bearers. And in a research or in a academic or a company setting, we need a team to work and move ahead. So for that, I have my team members, starting off with Ariba, who will be our timer. So Ariba, could you please explain the role?
Thank you, Mr. Toastmaster of the day. As a timer, my duty is to help every speaker watch out this time he is spending. So I will be alerting by showing up my background, my virtual backgrounds. And I will start by the green one for the speakers at 5 minutes, the yellow one at 6 minutes, the red one at 7 minutes, and you have 30 seconds to wrap up. For all the improvisers, the green screen will show up once you reach the first minute, the yellow one, 1 minute 30, and the red one at 2 minutes. The evaluators will see my green screen once they reach the 2 minutes, at 2 minutes 30, the yellow one, and 3 minutes, they will see the red one. And please remember that in every time you see the red background, you have 30 seconds to wrap up. Last but not least is for the pitch elevator speech. And you will see the green screen at 3 minutes, the yellow one at 4 minutes, and the red one at 5 minutes. Back to you, Mr. Toastmaster of the day.
Thanks, Adiba. We now move on to the person who pays special attention to all the details, nuances of our language, and special uses of the same. Please welcome Nagaraj as our grammarian.
Thank you, Shardul. While growing up, I always used to form acronyms to remember better. So for grammar, I came up with 3 C's. One is concise, it helps with conciseness. Second is clarity, and it increases comprehension. So those are the 3 C's for grammar. So I know in this world, we are all texting always. So the grammar is not that important, but coming to professional world, grammar is certainly important to avoid precarious situations. That brings me to my word of the day, precarious. Precarious is characterized by uncertainty, insecurity, or instability that threatens with danger. So example sentences, I have two. College debt leaves many students in a precarious financial situation after graduation. Second, books were stacked high in a precarious tower. With that, you can use precarious in your speeches and your text. I will be paying close attention to your text and speech to identify those. And the next is idiom of the day, reach for the moon. If you reach for the moon or reach for the stars, you are aiming to achieve something great or do something very challenging. For example, ever since he was a little boy, Gustav had reached for the moon. It was as if he did somehow known that he would be he would be doing great things in his life. So please plan to reach for the moon in this Toastmaster session. Thank you. Over to you, Shardul.
Thanks, Nagaraj. And now we begin our entrepreneurial journey today. The first step of any journey is with some sort of precariousness, because you are not sure whether we are going for certain objectives or why a certain thing is happening. And on top of that, you also have to set certain goals. And who better to tell us more about our entrepreneurial journey than our first speaker, whose entire speech is on how to become an entrepreneur. So before we continue, before I introduce her, let me bring upon Miriam, who will be her speech evaluator, to give the guidelines for her speech. Miriam.
Thank you, Mr. Toastmaster. Toastmaster Ganasei will be presenting from Dynamic Leadership, Project Level 4, Project 2, Manage Projects Successfully. I'll read out the purpose statement. The purpose of this project is for the member to practice developing a plan, building a team, and fulfilling the plan with the help of his or her team. This is the first speech whereby the member is presenting a short overview of the plan. So I will be looking out for an explanation of what the member intends to plan and the team that you are going to be working with to accomplish your plan. And I'll be looking out for a well-organized informational speech. Over to you, Mr. Toastmaster.
Thank you, Miriam. The speech will be for 5 to 7 minutes timer.
It says this is a 2 to 3 minute report on the members' plan.
The second part is for 5 to 7 minutes.
Oh, okay.
No worries. How to be a successful entrepreneur?
Sorry,
Darshani?
Mr. Toastmaster of the day, I didn't get it. Is it a 5 to 7 or 2
5
to
to
3?
7 minutes.
5 to 7, okay.
Yes. How to be a successful entrepreneur? Darshani, how to be a successful entrepreneur?
I was talking to a very dear and loved one the other day about the causes that he is fighting for to eradicate poverty. And what I heard was that he wanted to become rich. And I wanted to ask him, what does it have to do with eradicating poverty, especially when he wants to work in the developing countries and build cities around for those people? This is coming from someone who is very well connected and well established. Having such an attitude for an entrepreneur, I think won't be helpful, given that when you have two things that you are trying to get rich at the expense of the people you are serving, it's not that you can't achieve both motives. It's when one is at the expense of the other, that's when it's problematic. So what is at stake and how to move forward? Entrepreneurship is in itself in a very chaotic environment. It's very uncertain. You have to manage that chaos in uncertain future and be okay with that ways. You also need to be a visionary leader, and you have to have clear expectations and goals of what is that you are putting yourself into. The product and the service that you are offering to the people is very important. But at the same time, it's engagement with those people. It's engagement with all those elements. And that feedback needs to be in the form of engagement, meaning that it's not telling the customers what is best for them. It's not manipulating them in what is the best for them. It's also not asking them what is the best for them. And it's not forcing them to think what is best for them. So then what it is experimenting. It's inviting these people to interact with the product that you have. And when that interaction happens, you reflect on it. And based on that reflection process, you come up with the clear idea of how to have a better product. So this cycle of action, reflection, experimentation, and integration needs to be in the process in order to have a better product. But people like my friend who had this idea of how to bring a change in the world by becoming rich has a different perspective about entrepreneurship. And that really did have an impact on me, seeing someone who is dear to my heart have to say something of that obvious nature going against those fundamental core values. So what are some of the challenges? The first challenge that I identify is that we are having very individualistic approaches. We're very self-centered. How can I get more money? How can I be more successful? What else could I do to well establish myself? And when we focus so much on me, we have less focus on what is the change that I'm wanting to bring. How can I bring a dignified life to the people around me? So we're not having a very humanistic approach at that time. And the second challenge is that mostly projects and programs fail because we have this top-down dichotomy. The top to bottom approach is that whoever is coming from this privileged background knows better. And that's why we need to tell the local population what is best for them. And we don't engage the people who are actually the receiver of our service. And that's very problematic because we think we know better than the people who are actually out there experiencing those products. So now what are the opportunities? Are there some at this chaotic and uncertain environment? Yes, there are plenty of opportunities, but I'm identifying just two here. The first one is the world is moving so fast. We have industrialization, globalization, connectivity. All of that is bringing people together. And that's what entrepreneurs want, to be out there, to connect, and to have products that have value and that are global. So entrepreneurs can use that for their best benefit. The second opportunity is intersectionality. It's not right now medicine as a separate field and law as a different field. It's how all these different fields are right now coming together. Law, politics, medicine, all these different people, the intersectionality of all these different peoples in these different sectors are paving more ways for creativity, innovation, and connectivity. So, what do we need to do moving forward? There are so many opportunities and challenges. The first thing is invest on more human-centered design. Second, work on how you could bring different people together, especially the local population, the project designers, the implementers. And third, have better policies, programs, and procedures, and evaluate those projects, see how effective they are. Thank you, Mr. Toastmaster.
Thank you, Garsane. That was a very illuminating speech about your experience, and I completely agree with all your points. To add on to those, actually, I would also like to say that before you begin with an experimentation, normally we also have an end goal in sight, and or rather to an objective that we have in sight, whether we want to work on, say, processes or on a product or on what kind of thing. And for a researcher, the fundamental start or the fundamental focus begins in where would we like to focus, be it as an entrepreneur or be it in a particular academic research, whether I want to improve on certain specifications of a product, or whether I want to evaluate which product is better suited for a market. Your points of experimentation, interaction, and the goal-oriented objectives that are required for a research together help us building good entrepreneurs. Thank you very much for your speech. Apart from your own take, your own as an individual take on entrepreneurs, we also need some sort of mentorship so that we understand the ropes of the trade. We know what we want to do or how the things are happening around us. And for that, we are going to introduce our next speaker, Ravi Adusumilli, whose talk will be on mentorship. But before I bring Ravi to the stage, I would like to introduce his evaluator, Kalpana, who would tell us the guidelines for Ravi's speech. It's all you, Kalpana.
Shardul. I hope I'm audible.
Yes, you are.
Thank you. Toastmaster Ravi is attempting his level 2 project 3 from persuading influence pathway. And the purpose of this project is for the member to clearly define how Toastmaster envisions mentoring and also to share some aspects of a previous experience as a protege. And timer, please note the time for this speech is for 5 to 7 minutes. I wish all the best to Toastmaster Ravi.
Ravi Adusumilli, my mentor, Ravi Adusumilli.
Can you guys hear me? 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3.
Yes.
Thank you. Having mentors is extremely important in life. It's important to take guidance from somebody who has seen the things. I haven't realized the importance of mentoring for a very long time in my life. In those days, my mentors were actually movie actors and film stars. Yeah, I thought that was mentorship. Those were the days when I was in my MTech. And my favorite subject is optical communication. And I always used to come top the class. But in that particular exam, I came second. The girl who overtook me by 1 mark. I can't believe. I did not understand what I did wrong. I went through the examination paper side by side. Finally, I went to the professor and asked, where did I make the mistake? He took his red pen, rounded up a word and said, Ravi, you made a spelling mistake. Wait. I thought I was reading MTech. Why are you considering spellings in engineering? Ravi, this is not about 1 mark in one exam. If you keep repeating these things, your bosses and colleagues will be cutting 1 mark your entire life. That is then when I found my first mentor. My HOD, his name is Dr. Subbaya. We had great conversations throughout my 15 years journey as a mentee. We spoke about life, education, and growth. Recently, 8 months ago, I called him, which I often do every 3 months, and his wife picked up. And he told me that my professor has passed away because of COVID. It's pretty sad that my first mentor, who has influenced my life in such a way, has passed away just only by influencing my life and was not able to influence others' life. Now, my mentoring journey, fortunately, did not stop there. It only started. Toastmasters has given me an opportunity to find new mentors, and many of my mentors are in this club, in this meeting. Abhijit and Nagaraj, we actually mentor, and they mentor me a lot. One of the myths about mentoring that I would love to talk about today, which has put me on the backside on mentoring for a very long time, is I always thought my mentor should be better than me in all aspects, which is impossible and second, stupid. Now imagine this, right? Imagine there are people who are competing in Olympic Games, and if all the coaches are better than the Olympic athletes, wouldn't the coaches be competing? The coaches doesn't need to be better than the Olympic athletes. They just need to be, and they have seen things so that they can guide the athletes. This is one of the things that I learned very late. And mentor should be only good at better than us in only particular points. We don't need a mentor who is, it's impossible to have a mentor who is better than you in every aspect. If it is so, then you're in the wrong spot. The second mentor that I want to talk about today is, I found him after I finished my MTech. He is a CEO of a company. In fact, CEO of 2 companies. He has done his engineering, MBA, and he's pursuing his law. Yeah, he wanted to make all degrees in his background. Now, the problem with this is I haven't really made a connection with this mentor or even now. The first mentor that I made a great connection did not last it. And the second mentor I'm trying to make a connection is still happening. In short, mentoring is a journey which would going to happen for your entire life. That's what I learned my entire life. We are going to learn, relearn. We are going to find, lose, and refine mentors. And Toastmasters have given me a great opportunity on that. Thank you. Back to you, Toastmasters.
Thank you, Ravi. That was touching. I would say that the journey in Toastmasters actually starts by looking at some role models who later, in one way or the other, turn out to be our mentors. And I will like to say that my journey started because you and Abhi were there in the first meeting. So thank you for bringing this topic. The journey as an entrepreneur, as I said, has some insights that come from us, some insights that come from a mentor. But the drive or the journey as a whole has to be driven by us. While we get inputs, everything from our mentors and our colleagues and everyone, the idea blossoms only if you take the first step towards defining what your project will be and the niche in which it will be. The research required for that is of two types. One is data-driven and the other is evidence-driven. Now, you might think both of them seem or appear roughly the same. But for one, you just have numeric and solid data. For the other, you have instances or situations as evidence that you can use. People, for example, try to mimic Elon Musk because he is a charming CEO. Or normally unicorn, the people who are CEOs of unicorn, those are trying to be, or those are mimicked in the hope that our startup or our entrepreneurial journey will be just like them. But that's not always the case. In fact, if you have data that suits or is applicable to your application or your end goal, then your entrepreneurial journey is a lot more secure. I still cannot say certain, because at the end, you know what bumps will come down your path. But to put you all in some tricky situations, we will now move on to the next segment of our speech, which is the table topics master, where you will be given just enough time to come with a good and a witty response. I hand it over to Frederica, but yeah, okay, you are sharing, Frederica.
You're sharing your screen.
The screen is yours.
Sharing it already. Thanks for being back. I have the pleasure of being your table topics master, and Toastmasters Shardul has given us great insights, and the first speaker, Ghasani, about the fundamentals of research. And now I am saying how to apply the research to be successful in your business. So I'm moving right along. So I was saying, as entrepreneurs, the main objective of fundamental research is to produce the knowledge that we need and the understanding, or else, as we heard in Toastmaster, the Ghasani's speech, it is uncertain. It is a precarious position to put yourself in because everybody wants to reach for the moon. But how do we get to the moon? That is where we will be soon. So I have this little one here. It says, a young entrepreneur was looking at starting a new business in the second term. And I'm from Dominica, so I use Dominica in the north. And this is an island in the Caribbean. A research was conducted by management consultants, and the results will be reflected on the next page. You are now required to explain what is happening on the graph, and that is the result. So I know we have an expert in the house, and I want to start with him. Toastmaster Shardul, sorry, but I need you to start the ball rolling. This is my page. Tell us what is happening here in the market research.
Okay, so market research. An interesting slide, comparison of two products for specifically bed linens and shoes, and the target audience is ladies. What I found very interesting here is in every segment of the place, it's showing that without doing much expertise, shoes are being sold more. That can be seen in terms of market share for shoes as 4.5, or the location, based on location, is still 3.5. In terms of demand, it's 4.3. But where do you need the expertise? The expertise is needed to share or to get the share of bed linen sales higher. So from that, what we can infer is fashion accessories have a higher demand than bed linens. And to ensure that if my company is selling bed linens, I need to hire expert salesperson. Otherwise, my bed linens aren't going to get sold. So as a company owner of floral textiles, I have decided that I'm going to hire a nice social influencer who can ensure that my bed linens land on your bed. Thank you, Frederica. An interesting graph indeed.
Very interesting. I could not have chosen anybody else but the best. You had it right on the point. Yes, the shoes would be a better sale, but your bed linen, you will get research for that and sales expertise. Good. Now I have another very interesting one. We have Thomas Edison, who was the inventor of the light bulb. So let us take a walk with Thomas Edison when he decided to create that light bulb. From your perspective, tell us the thought processes and the research which may have taken place before that light bulb was created. Now I have one flashing on me. I can tell you I take it for granted, but I know what was involved. We have a Toastmaster, Akshay, on the line. Akshay, can you help us with this? Is he there?
I think Akshay is not here in the meeting, Frederica. You can ask
Okay.
someone else.
Okay, I have another one, a Toastmaster Venkat. Just giving the guest some chance to say something. Nobody?
I can go.
Yes, go ahead.
Okay. So we have been living in dark for so many decades and years, from the rise of humanity, from civilizations. So this is my only chance to make things better. I have tried so many experiments until now. I have 1,000 ways I can fail not to create a light bulb. And I'm so close to the finish line. And I want to make a huge impact in the world. It is now or never. It is me or nobody else, because I have so much data to prove how not to make a light bulb and how I could make one with all these tiny ingredients and make a huge impact in the whole world, and for the whole humankind to remember me for ages to come. So we have been here in 2020, almost 2022, and we still remember Thomas Alva Edison, and he's one of our iconic leaders of innovation. Wherever you go, you cannot miss him as the figure for innovation, entrepreneurship, taking risks, what America is all about. Also, to take risks, that's what the mindset is here at United States, to make things happen, take risks, and improve or create value for everybody. Thank you, Frederica. Over to you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Dr. Raj. What I would like to hear, one of the challenges that you went through, but you did a great job. Thanks. We have another one here. John is a citizen of Cuba, and he's an orthopedic doctor by profession. So he heard about this island in the Caribbean called St. Lucia, where he could be given some opportunities because he needs to gather some money for that retirement. So in terms of the theme, which is fundamentals of research, what would he need to do before his dream could materialize? Raghu, if you are on this call, please give us an answer. Master Raju. Not there?
Maybe we have to go to the next one.
Yes, I know he had. We have Toastmaster Kalpana.
Yes, stable topic master. Thank you for this lovely topic. I think when we have to dream about a material or to dream about anything and to identify something, the first thing we need to have is enthusiasm and observation towards the thing. So I would think that Dr. John would have if I was Dr. John, then I would have started to observe my surroundings and environment and see what is that my observation yields to. And I would definitely list out my priorities and see what best can be done out of these observations, and then plan properly to ensure that my observations are yielding to a solution, and that will help everyone. And this way I'll try to build up a project that will land in stars, if not in moon. And this is how I would like to continue. So any person who want to materialize something has to dream of it and has to have a plan to achieve it, and he has to work hard towards how he or she can achieve towards this. That is what a passion, that is what they need to have passion. So all these things, when we are completing together, that is when we'll be able to materialize and give out something. So in my opinion, observation and experience and drafting our observations to a solution is what is needed. Thank you. Over to Table Topic Master.
Thank you very much. I love that word plan, because you do not want to end up in a precarious position without a plan. So most times people do a business plan to have that going. Very good, Toastmaster Kampala. Very much impressed with your speech. Now that's an easy one. You're invited to a function where entrepreneurs are asked to give a 2-minute speech to sell their businesses to audience in their allotted time. For sure, this is being carried live by the television station MSNBC, and you notice that. So using the research you have done on the elevator pitch, what are the fundamental aspects that needs to be mentioned, and why for a successful elevator pitch? Who can give me that one? Still thinking. I saw a Toastmaster Khalid on the line. Are you there?
Yeah, if you're referring to me, yes, I'm still here.
Thank you, thank you.
You want to attempt this table topic?
Yes, that's what I want you to do. You have to give an elevator pitch. What are the fundamental aspects you have to put in there to make it a successful one?
Can I read it once again? Because I was not expecting to be there, but okay.
Go ahead, go ahead.
Sell the business audience and the allocated time. For sure, this okay, I'll try in my own way. Once I'm in a television, if I have an opportunity to be on a television set and the time is limited, I will use my experience, which I have learned from Toastmasters time management. Because in every aspect in Toastmaster, we learn how to manage our time, and time is money. So I will go and make sure I will target the right audience, right bullet points in terms of sell. What are the key aspects and the benefits, and how it can help each and every individual who's watching me on the television. I will go and tell the audience who's watching me at that moment what is missing in their life and what the product I'm selling to them can bring a difference in their life. I'm sure in that 2 minutes, I will do a justice, because thousands of people are listening to me. And if I bring the right benefit to the audience, at least 10% of the audience will contact me, not 100% definitely. But that 10% will itself be so huge that 10% of that 10% will make me a millionaire. So once I become a millionaire, I will go and spread the message that what made me a millionaire. And I want to see more and more millionaires from the Toastmasters community. And I'm sure I will invite you, our table topic master, to join me in my partnership. And back to you.
I would join you in your partnership, Toastmaster Khalid. What's in it for me? That's what I want to know in your elevator pitch, and I will be in it. So thank you very much for accepting to answer this. We have this last one. A friend walks up to you and mentioned that they're about to start a new business venture. What advice would you give the friend in order to be successful? Because you heard Toastmaster Gaston said, it is very uncertain, it's very risky. One thing you must bear in mind is that entrepreneurs work hard with no guarantee of success. And to answer this one, I will call on our guest, Anthony.
Thank you, Madam Table Topics Master. Good evening and good morning, depending on where you are. A friend walks up and hold on just now. All right, so here's a situation where someone walks up to you and then they ask you, they have an idea, they want to go into maybe create a new market. One of the first things that they must do, hold on, one of the first things that they would have to do is to carry out a research in that particular area or for that particular product that they want to search to venture in, because failure to do that, if you fail to plan, then you plan to fail. So that is one of the first things that they have to recognize. So then they would now go and carry out the research, because without that, then they are likely to end up in a precarious situation, and that is one of the things that you do not want to find yourself in. They must also learn from other persons. They can also source advice from other persons that have that particular experience or expertise in that particular market that they want to enter in. So basically, these are some of the things that they must do to ensure success. And thank you, Madam Table Topics Master.
Thank you, Toastmaster Anthony. Research, advice, these are the keywords here. And I will now hand over to the Toastmaster of the day, because I am sure after these table topics, we must have garnered a lot of information that we need as entrepreneurs. Good luck on your journey. Back to you, Toastmaster.
Thank you, Frederica. Those were interesting topics. And indeed, as you rightly put it, whatever I said or whatever was remaining was definitely covered in the implementation. So excellent topics and nice team. Now we move on to actually the implementation, because up till this point, we have some stories. Frederica gave us how we have to implement. Khalid actually shared what is required for a good pitch. So let's on, without getting any more delay, go into the actual pitch, which will be given to us by 𝐔𝐬𝐚𝐥. And the pitch will be on, I'm sorry, how do I missed it? Frederica, okay, I'm sorry. The pitch that will be given by 𝐔𝐬𝐚𝐥 is Program Manager, here I am. Here I am, sorry, Program Manager, here I am, 𝐔𝐬𝐚𝐥. 𝐔𝐬𝐚𝐥, could you please stand a bit ahead because you're getting lost in the virtual screen? Ah, yes. Now it's
interesting. Just one sec. Just give me one sec. Let me remove the virtual.
Yeah.
Sorry about that. I know what's happening.
The cupboard was in front, something was in front.
Yes. So that's what is happening. Okay, let me put back my virtual. Okay, we're good. Thank you so much. My name is 𝐔𝐬𝐚𝐥 George, and I am a software engineer. Every good engineer is a great project manager. And I'm here to convince you that I am ready to take on multi-project management and transition as a program manager. I can say with confidence that I have a lot of the skills that you're looking for. I understand the basic principles on how to move from A to B in the most efficient and effective manner, and without the extra churn, and how to manage dependencies and how to manage risks. I've done this already without the title, and I am interested in doing this full time and helping other teams. The three things that I bring to this table that'll help me succeed as a program manager are communication, servant leadership, and planning. Communication. Communication is central and crucial in this role. And knowing that communication is specific to that audience. Toastmaster teaches me this valuable skill. And as a program manager, I play the role of an orchestrator while working with different teams. And when the team is in the critical path, I make sure they're talking to each other and coordinating with each other, and I make it happen. I also know how to run meetings, both large and small, and get results. And when it comes to exposing information, I understand where each person is in the organization and what information they need and convey it crisply. The second skill that I bring to this table is servant leadership. I recognize that in this role, it's all about making the teams look good. It's not about the program manager succeeding. It's about the teams that's supporting the product succeeding. And when they succeed, product succeeds. I currently am a Toastmasters area director, and I am working on this skill by influencing more than 100 people to work on their educational goals and in turn help the club achieve their DCP points. Third one is planning. There's a lot more work to be done, and I can't do all that. It's all about picking and choosing the work that needs to be done, or what is the critical one to be done, or the most one that has the greatest impact. Also, being visibility into the data helps me to organize them in such a way that it's self-organizing for the entire team, and this helps them to achieve good results. My team's horizon tends to be shorter because they are working on projects that are in front of them. But as a program manager, I have a broader vision. And as a result, I can help them and think about what is the right way of doing it so they can succeed and save themselves from work. As I expand my career, I take on increasingly higher responsibilities. I am looking to work as a program manager because that gives me professional satisfaction. And I hope you would consider me in this role. Thank you.
Thank you very much, 𝐔𝐬𝐚𝐥. Indeed, as a program manager, you are there. In my company of bedsheets plural, you will be hired as soon as possible when I get the funding. So when it comes to funding, you normally have investors, and investors look at how you deliver the pitch, be it in terms of the way 𝐔𝐬𝐚𝐥 delivered her speech or way our speakers introduced their topics and went about it. So let's hear from our investors, our evaluators, what they think of what we delivered. So we move on to the third of our fourth segment, which is the evaluations. And starting off with the evaluation of our first speaker, let me introduce back Miriam. Miriam, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Mr. Toastmaster. I'm going to be evaluating Toastmaster. I have to read out the name, 𝐔𝐬𝐚𝐥, Toastmaster 𝐔𝐬𝐚𝐥, who was presenting on Dynamic Leadership, Project 4, Level 4, Project 2. The purpose of the presentation was for the presenter to present on any topic and receive feedback, So she presented on how to be a successful entrepreneur, a powerful topic for us entrepreneurs. She's well done for starting off with a powerful story. You opened your presentation by telling us a story about your friend who intends to be an entrepreneur, but they've got their motive about their desire to want to be an entrepreneur is not right. They are being driven by a selfish motive, wanting to gain from the poor. They want to get rich by getting money from the poor people. So you explained to us the challenge that we face as entrepreneur. What is your motive behind wanting to be an entrepreneur? Are you wanting to just make money, or you want to make a difference in people's lives? That is the challenge that you presented. So that was a very powerful opening. You went on to explain the characteristics of a powerful entrepreneur. You said that an entrepreneur has to be a visionary, because if you're not a visionary, then you don't have, you don't know what you want to deliver. You don't know the goal that you want to achieve. You went on to speak about the product that you want to deliver. You said that it's not about just pushing your product into the market. It's about engaging your audience, engaging your customers, because it's important to understand the needs of the consumers. Entrepreneurship is about solving problems. So you don't just produce your product and force it onto the customers. You need to understand the customers and how that product is going to benefit them. You spoke about the importance of taking action, the importance of reflection, the importance of experimenting and then executing your ideas. You also highlighted the challenge that entrepreneurs are facing, and you went on to highlight opportunities that we have as entrepreneurs living in a global village. There's industrialization, there's digitalization. A lot is happening in terms of entrepreneurship. So there's so many opportunities that can lead to the success of an entrepreneur. I also liked what you spoke about. This is new to me, intersectionality of different professions, to say that lawyers, doctors, different professions can actually come together and work together in this new world, the new norm that we are in. That was a very powerful presentation. So to take your presentation to the next level, I know this was not a humorous speech or anything. You were giving us information, but it was too monotonous. The tone of your voice was on the same level. I would have wanted you to use a bit of vocal variety just to keep us excited and engaged in your delivery, as well as a bit of movement. There was also, you could have used a bit of your hands to show that this is something that you are passionate about. I can tell that this is a subject that you are interested in and you are passionate about. So I wanted to see that emotion through your movements, purposeful movements. So that will help you to take your delivery to the next level, because as you deliver a speech, you want to keep your audience engaged throughout. As much as the information is excellent, but we are in a virtual world. We are looking at your face. We want to see how your face, we want to see your movements. We want to see what you are doing with your body to communicate with your body as well. So I really encourage you to work on using your body to communicate as well. And in conclusion, I would have wanted you to have a powerful conclusion, highlighting the points on what is needed to be a successful entrepreneur, just to make sure that we, as the audience, we remember the main points. What are we taking home from the presentation? Otherwise, I enjoyed your presentation and I look forward to your next presentation. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Miriam. That was an elaborate evaluation. I would actually have some points, but I will bring that up in the later part of the segment. For now, we move on to the second evaluator, which will be done by Kalpana for Ravi's speech. The floor is all yours, Kalpana.
Thank you, Toastmaster Shardul. A mentor is not someone who walks ahead of you to show you how they did it. A mentor walks along with you and show you what you can do together. This is what I remember from your speech. Toastmaster Ravi, congratulations on completing your speech. Let me give your speech evaluation in the traditional CRS method, where commendations, recommendations, and followed up with summary. To start with what went well in your speech, I would say you have started off with your childhood memories and you have helped us to recollect all the people who acted on you and showed you a way. And I could also see that you have referred to the visualization of people who are not in your life, like film stars who were your mentors. And there I could understand that you showed that maturity in your speech, where you understood that the virtual people are there, but they are not the actual one, and actual people are there who will always influence us and help us to get better. 2, you have always referred to your mentor in your personal life and also in your professional life, and also in the Toastmasters journey. That was wonderful. 3, you have given a new concept saying that a mentor need not be successful in all the aspects or need not be higher than what you are at the current phase. And that's really good and positive attitude, especially when it comes to Toastmasters, because this environment is a positive environment where we get to learn things, and this is definitely a plus point for you. And coming to your recommendations, if I would be in your place, then I would do the following things to make the speech much more better. 1, I would start off with a wonderful energy. Yes, I would say, all my life I was thinking only film stars are the one who will give us all the required motivation and they are the mentors. But in class 8, when I got lesser marks in 2nd grade, that is when I understood. Like this. 2, I would say that you have been looking out of your frame and sometimes down. So as an audience, I would not do that. I would look up so that I will think and I will aim for the stars or the moon. 3, you had few of the repetitions. I would try to avoid the repetitions. The best way is to practice our speech and ensure that we are not repeating. And 4, I would add more personal experiences and more learnings from what I have learned from either my personal mentors and how that improved my life. Let it be a film star, let it be your Dr. Subaya who had helped you, or maybe if Toastmaster Abhijit who helped you. I would really love to listen to that. So overall, a good speech with details of your childhood, how your mentality has changed. However, if you would have pondered upon the improvements you had from having your mentors, that would add an excellent level and your speech would landed into the moon. But as of now, congratulations, your speech landed into the stars. Thank you, and over to Toastmaster Shardul.
Thank you, Kalpana. It was a very nice evaluation, encompassing all the good and the bad points and things that we can work upon. Not just Ravi, but all of us in our future speeches. So thank you for that. We now move on to the pitch evaluations. So that we kick-started off with Khalid, who will be our first pitch evaluator. The floor is yours, Khalid.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Shardul, if I pronounced it correctly.
Yes.
Toastmaster Jamal, I like the way you started your project when you say I'm a software engineer. That is the first thing I like because I'm also a software person. And you also say software engineers are very good program managers and project managers. I agree to that and I second that because as software professionals, we always do projects. So we must be better project managers. You give a lot of experience in terms of selling your idea that why you should be appointed as the program manager. You mentioned that you are very good in communications, servant leader, planning. And you gave us some additional example that you worked in your club and achieved the DCP points as a Toastmaster. Now, if I see the timer is red already. Okay.
No. Sorry. It was a mistake. But you're still on time, on green.
I got a shock. So, should I start again or continue from there?
Just continue from there. 1 minute.
Okay. Thank you very much. And you also talked about the actual picture of a program manager, that what is actual role of a program manager versus a project manager. So you defined them, made them very clear so that people know why you are there and people understand that you know your job which you're applying for or why you are here. Few comments. You are here as to sell yourself as a program manager, but I found you are here to sell yourself as a Toastmaster. Reason, you mentioned communications and planning, very good, but you mentioned servant leader. Servant leader is not a fit in program manager because you need to follow up with all the project managers and the individuals, resources who are working on the project. So if you become a servant leader, you will not get the work done. You have to be a bit difficult and hard in your job. Number two, you didn't mention about the certifications, whether you are a PMI or Prince 2 certified. So these are the key things when someone looks at. Number three, the most important is conflict management, cost management, resource planning, and resource management. Those are the elements which you missed out in your discussion. Overall, you sold yourself, but I think if you have mentioned more about your certification, your experience in terms of resource planning and conflict management, cost management, you would have been hired immediately. But I'll hire you tomorrow. All the best. Back to you, our Toastmaster.
Thank you, DTM Khalid. We now move on to the second pitch evaluator, which will be done by Ramesh.
Thank you, Mr. Toastmaster. Let me get my. Thank you, Mr. Toastmaster, fellow members, welcome guest, and especially Jamal. Very good pitch, great. I love the way you started. I am a software engineer. But right in the next statement, and they are good project managers, I got a little puzzled. I said, oh, okay, so why are the software engineer good project managers? Okay. So I thought that was a very good start. And you had a good eye contact and you were very positive in your expression and you seemed eager to talk about what you wanted to say. So those were very positive. Excellent pitch there to convey that you are ready for program manager. You quoted some of the good credentials that you have in terms of club management, DCP points, and being area governor, and your work from that. If there are a few points I think you can improve. One of them I would say is, as I mentioned first, is the why is software engineer a good project manager? Okay, you need to. I think the best thing would be to talk about what is required in being a good program manager. It could be maybe 5 points that are needed for program manager and how I rank on each of them. And why do I rank better? Because I've got this experience. I rank here better because I got this experience. That would make a better pitch for you. I would also saw that you were a little bit tense. Maybe I noticed it, but maybe you also know that maybe, but a bit tense. relax, smile a little bit more, just let it be a little bit informal, a little bit points should flow out of you rather than being very well-prepared, scripted things. Preparation is important, but also being at ease is important as well. Overall, I think this was a great pitch. I loved it, and I look forward to your next pitches. Thank you.
Thank you, Ramesh. We now move on to the last pitch evaluation, which will be done by Giri. Giri, the floor is yours. You are muted before you begin.
Can you hear me?
Perfectly.
Jamal, you took a topic which not every software engineer think about it. You started saying, I'm a software engineer for a project and I want to be a program manager. That confidence was really great. You also gave this 3-point why you should be a program manager. You even explained that you can take a project from A to point B. That was wonderful. You gave examples. You gave examples of Toastmasters Club. I like the way you gave examples, but you gave a Toastmasters Club. And then for a couple of recommendations for you, I'm a software engineer. I've managed simple and complex projects. I've managed diverse projects spread across multiple industries and multiple cultures. Would have been a wonderful thing. As a program manager, you are also negotiating with your teams. That would have been one more thing. One more thing is you would have added, I have 10 years of project management experience. That would be a punch. I have managed projects from 1 million to 100 million. Now I want to be a program manager managing 400 million. I like the confidence. I like the way you came up and your presentation. Your voice could have been a little much better. But overall, I like the way you're dreaming up to be a program manager, wherein not everyone tries to think about that. That itself is a leadership thing, which I would encourage you to pursue. Thank you.
Thank you, Giri. Now we move on to our role bearers, who will give us an idea of how we all did in terms of our language as well as our timings. Let me start off with Ariba, who will be our timer and give the present timers report.
Please give me just a second, then sure. Give me the rights to share my screen and
indeed.
Put on the last information.
You already have them.
Thank you so much. Can you see my screen?
It's sharing yet. Now we do see.
I will zoom in. So here is the timing for all our speakers today. So the first speaker, Garcene, has 7 minutes 09. The second speaker, Ravi, 5 minutes 38. The first improviser, Shardul, 1 minute 34. The second one, Nagraj, 1 minute 28. The third one, Kalpana, 1 minute 13. Fourth one, Khalid, 1 minute 40. And the fifth improviser, Anthony, with 1 minute 44. For the pitch elevator, Jaimo, she spent 4 minutes 24. And now it's time to move to the evaluators. Starting from the first evaluator, Miriam, 5 minutes 24. And the second one, Kalpana, 3 minutes 30 seconds. For the pitch evaluators, I start with Khalid, and I'm so sorry for the issue with my background. And you had 2 minutes, 50 seconds. Ramesh, 2 minutes, 10 seconds, and Guri, 1 minute, 58. That's all from mine. Back to you.
Thank you, Adiba.
Okay.
I like the presented display, especially with the color coding. That actually helps to know how we did overall in just one single glimpse. We move on to the next the next role bearer, Nagaraj, who is the grammarian.
Thank you, Shardul. Yes, in this precarious event today, people did reach to the moon. So I use my own words and idioms. So Ghazne did a good speech with, I noticed her a good use of language at the expense of dear to my heart and intersectionality. That's a good word for me to learn today. To be out there was good. And Ravi used very good use of simple and clear language and grammar. Coming to Frederica for her energy. Thanks for your energy. And you did use run for the moon. Kalpana also. And Anthony did use the word for the day, precarious. Jaimo, coming to Jaimo, he used from A to B to have a simple A to B language so that people can understand and correlate. And she used orchestrator, which was a good word. And servant leadership, which is lead by example, a word for that, leading by example. Coming to evaluators, Miriam did use importance of as in continuous manner, as in importance of this, importance of that. Then you can have examples. In that you can stitch the examples together. And she also used the industrialization, digitization. Those are some of the key words. That's a good to use. Kalpana did use run to the moon, run for the moon, and everybody else used good language. I didn't get a chance to nitpick on any other aspects, but those were all nicely done. Over to you, Shardul.
Thanks, Nagaraj. It's nice to hear that we didn't give you much of a chance to nitpick. I like that. We now move on to the final part, which is the conclusion, where Frederica, our presiding officer, will take feedback from the guests and how we did as a whole and her opinion of it. Frederica, it's all you.
Thanks, Toastmaster Shardul, for a job well done. I'm sitting there waiting for more, and you're telling me it's almost over. So our guests will now have an opportunity, plus our members, to give us some feedback, because feedback is important. We want to know where to improve and how we should go. So we have a guest, Ru, on the line. Ru, tell us how you found our meeting. If you are there.
I am. Can you hear me?
I am hearing you loud and clear.
Thank you. Good morning. Thanks for inviting me, Frederica. So I am fairly elementary with Toastmasters. I recently joined a chartered club in the United States. So I was very excited to join into what seemed to be a more advanced club. Everyone seemed fully aware of their roles and titles, hence prepared to articulate all the requirements and fulfill your task at hand. The speakers, I found the speakers very informative. I felt very in tune with both speakers, actually. That made me feel like I was on a journey with them in general. The Toastmaster, very enthusiastic. I've never seen a Toastmaster so high energy and just seems so involved and extremely knowledgeable on all the topics at hand, which definitely added additional insight to all the speeches that were provided. And I'm saying, and I know that's a clutch word, I'm sorry. What resonated more was the pitch. What resonated more to me was the actual pitch. And that's because when she mentioned software engineer is a good project program manager, I am a computer engineer who is actually an IT project manager. So that fell in line with what I'm currently doing. So I really appreciate all the different skill sets that you mentioned, managing risk, communication, leadership, and of course the feedback that you received as well, which played a role in just being in that project program manager title in general. I appreciate all the feedback evaluations because they were all beneficial tools for the speaker and everyone else to progress to the next level. So overall, job well done. I do appreciate the invite. I learned a lot and I look forward to listening into additional meetings. Thank you.
Thanks, 𝐔𝐬𝐻. It was nice having you. We have not heard Noah's voice for today. Noah, what do you have to say to us? If you are there.
Hi, Frederica. How are you doing?
Doing fine, and you?
A long time no see. Well, I was not going to join today, but Toastmaster Raghu sent me the link, and DTM 𝐔𝐬𝐻 was doing the pitch evaluator, so the pitch elevator. So I thought I'd log in and see what that is, and it was quite informative. It was also nice to see familiar face. Hi, Abu and Jamal. You did really well. Thank you for having me.
Thank you, Noah. I'm not too sure, Timer, if we have much more time, because I know we have to stop right on time. Anybody else? Maybe yes, Shardul?
No, we have a minute more. That's all.
1 minute. Anybody have anything to say in half a minute so I can use the other half?
Great educative meeting today. It's wonderful. Learned a lot from all the speeches. Wonderful speeches.
Thanks, Kiri. Thanks, Kiri. Always nice having you.
Did
Yes,
we ask
Shardul.
our don't time me distinguished Toastmaster 𝐔𝐬𝐻𝐸𝐻? 𝐔𝐬𝐻𝐸𝐻, please give your feedback.
Thank you very much. When I saw that I crossed the times, I thought, let me put that joke, because usually we say here, DTM means don't time me. We always cross the time. Sometimes it is intentional, sometimes it is not. Sometimes we exceed the time to ensure that we get the right message across. So the person who we are evaluating or we are giving the feedback, they actually benefit from more than the time. Because with the time control, sometimes I feel we do not need to do justice. I'm not saying that we should not be punctual, but sometimes it is more important that the person get the message across so that the future projects are much improved version of the current projects. And I'd like to thank Toastmaster Noha, who asked me to join this meeting, and I joined this meeting on her request in the last moment. I was having a plan not to attend any meeting today because I've been in meetings day and night, so I thought I'll take a break. By the way, I'm 𝐔𝐬𝐻𝐸𝐻. I'm the Region 11 District 20 Club Growth Director. And don't see me, usually I come formally dressed, but today just outside, and she asked me to join her. I said, I cannot say no to Noha, so I'm here. But it's good, Toastmaster Noha, you asked me to join in. There's a lot of good people I could see today. I'm sure I will make good friendship with everyone going forward. And there's a lot of learning I took from this meeting. For example, how you do the pitch evaluation in part of your normal Toastmasters project, because in our area, we have a special team who does all this, but I like what your club is doing. It is because it's part of your club meetings, and it helps everyone who joins. I'll take this idea and maybe implement it in my clubs. Thank you very much. I usually go to clubs, attend, and steal good ideas and implement it in my clubs. Thank you very much for making me a bigger thief. Back to you.
Thank you very much, 𝐔𝐬𝐻𝐸𝐻. Abhijit Joshi happens to be the club co-director from District 101 as well. I think it's more like you meeting your colleague here. So can we ask our Venkat Kodavati from NVIDIA? Venkat, your face is so familiar. It looks like you're an actor coming out of Tollywood movie. Do you want to give a feedback on the meeting?
Thank you, Raghu. I don't know whether it should be whether you're paying a compliment or you're putting me in the dark. But anyway, thank you. I mean, really enjoyed the meeting. I think it's you guys have done a wonderful twist to the normal Toastmaster meeting with the addition of pitch and pitch evaluations. I was actually hoping that it will be like a little bit of like a Shark Tank, mini Shark Tank, but it's not that level, but still pretty good in terms of pitches. The only thing I would suggest is that maybe we need, I don't know whether one pitch needs 3 pitch evaluators. Maybe that's the format you came up with, but would have loved to see more pitches and maybe 1 or 2 evaluations for each pitch. That would probably be sufficient in my mind. But anyway, I'm being a little bit more open with my feedback. But the Toastmasters, the table topics was also great because it was very thought-provoking in terms of relating to business and research. I think that I learned quite a lot. Sorry, I couldn't take the question as I was outside at that time, but really enjoyed it. And thanks, Abhijit, for inviting me here. I would love to be part going forward. Thank you.
Wow. Thank you. We have Anthony Pratika.
Oh, yes.
How can we say?
Oh, Anthony, you are there. The Master Ash is asking you to say something.
Yes. Yeah. Thank you again, and thanks for inviting me, Toastmaster Frederica, and thanks to everyone here this evening. I enjoyed the meeting, and the elevator speech I also enjoyed a lot, and the evaluation, and I think that's an important thing, especially like as a group in terms of business with entrepreneurs. That is a part of that's an important business aspect, that you want to make a first impression with your customers. So having a good speech, having a good pitch, sales pitch will add benefit. And also the session on the research is another aspect to that I'm also interested in. So it was very good being here tonight, and I look forward to visiting again. Thank you.
Thank you, Anthony. Can we?
Thank you.
Can you all keep your video on so that I can take a picture? 1, 2, 3, cheers. Thank you.